I'm going to group quite a few scenarios into one. So I reckon over the time of, we'll call it a decade, I reckon I've actually come out quite well unscathed, but I've lost around $50,000, maybe $60,000 in investing in what other people thought were great ideas, where people had come, like I still remember.
I'm sorry, I'm laughing a little bit because I actually kept these off my list. I have heaps of these as well, but they didn't make the top 3. Right? Continue on.
I had to mention it. I've got some other bigger pains, but I'm just like, I have to mention this one because it's so applicable to everybody. Like I still remember in my 20s, like catching up with a guy and he's just like, I know a guy who sits on a board that knows a guy that they're going to find a gold deposit or an oil deposit or whatever it was.
Oh, it's got a great story.
It's got a great
story, it's the best.
And so then I was like, I looked at my bank account and I'm like, okay, cool. I got a decent amount of money in a bank account. You know what? I'll just throw like $5,000, $10,000 at this. Whoop. And I'm like, if it doubles, great. If it goes to nothing, great. I'll just earn the money back. Yeah, I went to nothing. I'm like, damn it. And then I went and did the same thing with like some other shares, went and did the same. Like there was another tech company that I bought shares in like when they first came out. And it was big story another day. Same with crypto. Hey, let's go and jump in on this initial coin offering. I even had a friend who had a coin offering. He's like, let's get in on this thing. I had a friend who opened an exchange. Let's go and get in on this thing. And like there's so much more. It's probably even more than 50. But it was like all of the decisions were based off not logic, not me going and understanding the economics that sit behind something or the utility that sits behind something or the probability of it actually happening based on my knowledge. It was just, hey, Grant, do this and you will win. And the people who were recommending these were not your massive punters, except for one. One was like a multimillionaire. He's like, buy this, and it didn't work out. But to him, it was like a drop in the ocean. To me, I'm like, oh, like that's actually kind of hurts.
Did this? So I'm really fascinated by this one. I'm in the same category. Did this teach you the difference between investing and speculating by chance?
Completely. This was the definition of investing versus speculating, to the point where, so I haven't watched the news. I kind of look at it now a little bit just to get fed some updates and sort of pick out the points that are actually relevant to me. But I haven't consumed news for a very long period of time, since I was like 18 when Tim Ferriss came out with like the 4-hour work week and he was talking about news consumption and everything. Like I just cut it off. I'm like, I don't need this in my life. Because I was such a big naysayer of everybody just because I got burnt so many times. Because everyone's like, oh, let's go into this business together. No, let's do this. Nope, invest in this. Nope, didn't work. And I just got so burnt that I'm like, the only person I back is me. I can get myself through every situation and I've got more willpower, more ability and more grit than anyone I know. And I will just brute force myself to success. Everybody else be damned. Right? And that was like me starting off on my business career, which explains a lot about things that I've mentioned on this podcast before, of just going, let's just plow forwards. So it burnt me. I actually took 2 steps back where I just said, well, no one's going to actually help me on this journey besides me. Or in actual fact, I'm like, now I lean into, well, who's done it before? How do I talk to them? What are the best questions for me to ask them and all these things? But I had to like go from a standing start when everyone else is jogging. And I'm like, oh man.
It's so interesting. I completely see, like, a lot of people take their investment advice from like barbecues, right? They'll catch up with some friends and like, oh, he's just, he's doing a development. Maybe I should do a development. And then they get way in over their head, or the timing's out. Like, someone did a development when it was the perfect timing to do a development. And then you get in at this like train wreck moment where everything's overpriced.
Exactly. It's like a friend of mine shared this to me. Is like, second that my family, whether it's cousins, uncles, aunties, and this is what he referenced, he's like, second they tell me about an investment idea, I need to get out.
Sell it. It's probably not a bad strategy.
So he did the same with crypto. So he bought Bitcoin, he bought Ethereum, and like family was telling him like, hey, have you heard about this? Have you thought about investing in this? And he's like, I've sold. I'm out. I'm done. Like he's like too inflated. And I'm like, what? So but the biggest lesson for me on this is like, yes, there was a cash cost allocated to it, which also had an opportunity cost and everything. But the point of speculating or just taking other people, like it's like, I call it like outsourced investing, right?
I think they call it trust signals. It's like if and I'll just use an example, like if Elon Musk invests things, like you automatically think, well, if Elon will do it, then it must be okay for me.
Dogecoin and Bitcoin, great.
Yeah, and it's like because when people don't necessarily understand something, so let's use crypto as the example. If someone doesn't really understand crypto, which I would argue 99% of people don't,
Agreed.
what do they actually use to develop a buying decision? It's like, well, look, my mum invested in it and she made all this money. Well, then if I trust my mum, well, then I'm going to do this as well. Or if Elon bought it, then I'll bought it. And a lot of people get burned in this, like hard.
Two of the people that I know that made the most amount of money in crypto spent 3 to 6 months educating themselves before they put $1 in. And I'm just like, yep. Like, there you go. Because I was like, like that is where you need to be at. And so, yeah, so my point was two on this. The first one was like, I actually got burned so much that I ran away from taking other people's insights and advice across everything. Like, I just stopped trusting people, whether it be business recommendations, business advice, like kind of stopped going to seminars and all masterminds and all these different things just because I felt so burnt by it. And so then the second one was obviously just, hey, you can't just speculate off other people. You can't outsource.
Can I ask a question on this one though? Do you think that because of these experiences, that it actually had you develop a bias into assets you can control? Because yes. I think for a lot of business owners, like let's pretend you had that experience on the gold mine or whatever it was, silver. I don't actually know what the mine was, but they didn't find what it was there and you lost your money. And you realize, well, you know, if I was there in Western Australia, I would have found that gold.
Exactly.
Right? See where it come from?
Yeah. And it comes back to that staying in your lane, right? What the hell do I know about like gold and oil exploration? Nothing. Like, how would I even know that they're doing a good job or that they've found a pocket or anything like that? It's pure speculation.
It's like the story. The stories, they always get me. I'm like, listen to this thing. It's like, man, you don't understand. There's this guy and he's the ex-engineer at Google. Right. And he's seen things he knows, right? And he's come out and he's got this new product because like Google can't build it because it's going to be a conflict to something they're already building. Yep. So like they're not going to build this because it would reduce the value of YouTube. So he's come out and I'm like.
The story. But and so it really did. Like, hence why I went back into I can control business, I can sell, I can market, I can deliver. That is what I'm going to do is I'm just going to back myself.
Hey, fellow business owner, if this topic and value-packed short video has resonated with you at all and you want to dive deeper into being a full stack business owner, check out the full episode by clicking the link on your screen or in the description right now.